everyone, welcome back to another video with Ricky the RBT. Today's video we're going to be continuing our RBT Task List breakdown videos. We are currently in section B. Today we're going to be talking about task list item number 3, assisting with functional assessment procedures. So in this video we'll discuss what a functional assessment is, why we do functional assessments, how we conduct functional assessments, and what your role is as an RBT during a functional assessment. So what is a functional assessment or a functional behavioral assessment, FBA, so on? FBA hypothesizes about the relationship between the behaviors and the environmental events. What this means is we use a FBA to help develop what we think can be the function or the reason why a particular behavior is occurring. In the field of applied behavior analysis, we identify specific functions of behaviors, and I really just scratched the surface when I discuss the different functions of behavior because really that's just a separate video that we'll have to deep dive into. Definitely leave me some comments down below if you want me to deep dive into the different functions of behaviors. But for this video, we'll talk briefly about the functions of behaviors. So you have behaviors that occur where the individual is seeking social positive reinforcement as a consequence for their behavior, which in other words means they're seeking attention. So what that means is a behavior can have an attention function. So when they engage in that behavior, the consequence they're looking for is some form of attention. You have individuals, they may engage in behaviors in order to receive some type of tangible reinforcement. So that may look like a specific item or a specific activity. So what that means is they're looking to gain access to something. So when they engage in that behavior, we can hypothesize that the function of that behavior is access. They want access to some type of tangible. Individuals may engage in behaviors that result in social negative reinforcement as well, where they're looking to escape or avoid something aversive. So we can hypothesize that that behavior would have an escape function. And the last one that we'll discuss is where an individual engages in a behavior and they're not really looking for any type of social reinforcement. They're looking for some form of sensory stimulation, where that sensory stimulation is more reinforcement than any type of social reinforcement. And so what we will hypothesize is that that particular behavior will have an automatic function. So even with me giving you guys that quick, description of all the different functions, still not enough information. We can dive deeper into the functions of behavior. And so again, if you guys want me to talk more about the functions of behavior, definitely leave me some comments down below and I'll be able to go more in depth on the functions of behaviors. So now let's get into how we conduct FBAs as behavior analysts. So similar to the process and the steps we take to conduct individualized assessments, that's what I talked about in my last video, the RBT Task List breakdown video for task list item number 2 from section B. We're doing probing, right? We're still going to be testing, but we're not necessarily testing for skill deficits. Now we're more manipulating the environment to figure out some type of pattern. Now based on that pattern or patterns, we can hypothesize a function for the behavior, or if we're looking at multiple behaviors, then we can hypothesize the function for multiple behaviors. So there's 3 different ways to conduct an FBA. You can do a functional analysis, you can do a descriptive assessment, or you can do an indirect assessment. Your supervising BCBA will be the one to make that decision, and they will let you know how you guys are going to go about conducting the functional behavioral assessment. Now, even when I talk about functional analysis, descriptive assessment, indirect assessment, you're probably still like, what is that? Again, that's something where we have to scratch the surface in this video because that's really like a separate video where I have to dive into a functional analysis, a descriptive assessment, and an indirect assessment. So here's what I'll do. If I get 5 likes on this video, then I will do a separate video where I'm talking about the functions of behavior and I'm talking about functional analysis, descriptive assessment, and indirect assessment. So I get 5 likes on this video, be on the lookout for that video. All right, cool. Last thing I'll touch on before I end this video is your role as an RBT when assisting with FBAs. We'll talk a little bit about your responsibilities. The first thing is collaborating with your supervisor. Your supervisor is going to come to you either in a formal way, meeting, Zoom, something, or informal, where they may be talking to you in supervision. They may let you know, hey, we're going to do a functional behavior assessment for this behavior or these behaviors, right? Now, what I mean by collaborating with the supervisor is making sure that you're staying in constant communication with them. You're discussing with them what your role is. You're discussing with them what the procedures are, what the protocols are, what data you're going to be collecting, what data collection tools are you going to be using during a functional behavior assessment. Making sure that you become their right-hand person during a functional behavior assessment, because it can be, when you say you're doing like functional analysis, It's a very controlled, it's kind of like an experiment in a way, right? It's very controlled. You're introducing different conditions, so on. And so you want to make sure that you know exactly what is expected of you during a functional behavior assessment. You're staying in constant communication, and you're prepared for when it's time for you guys to do the functional behavior assessment. Even if you do the descriptive assessment, where you're just observing, you're collecting ABC data, like making sure that you know what you're looking for, what the definitions of the behaviors are, what the topography of those behaviors, what they look like, so on. Just making sure that you're collaborating with your supervisor, making sure that you're always in the loop on what's happening. The next thing is collecting data. You want to make sure that you're collecting data accurately, whether it's measurement data or it's ABC data. If it's ABC data, then let's make sure that we're using observable and measurable terms. What that means is we want to be as descriptive as possible. It's almost like you're writing a story, but you want to have so many details in there that a person can read it and it's as if they're standing there with you, looking at the individual do whatever they're doing, right? Be as descriptive as possible if you're tasked with collecting the data, especially ABC data. Last thing that we'll touch on is to be responsive to behaviors based on protocols. So that's the significance of collaborating with the supervisor, knowing what is expected of you, knowing what the protocols are if a particular behavior occurs. Right? You want to make sure that you're responding to it. You want to know how fast you should be responding to those behaviors, so on, amongst other things, right? Making sure that you know what the protocols are when the behaviors occur, so you're privy and it's not new to you, it's not surprising. You know what to expect, right? So know how to respond to the behaviors based on protocols. So that is task list item number 3 from section B. That is the end of section B. We're going to be moving on to section C, skill acquisition of the RBT task list. If you guys took any notes during this video, please leave me a thumbs up. Again, if I get 5 likes on this video, then I'll make the video discussing functional analysis, descriptive assessment, indirect assessment, and the different functions of behavior. All right, do not forget to subscribe to this channel, ring the notification bell so you're notified each time that I make a new video. Please leave me some comments down below. Love to hear from you all. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.